So today on the show, I'm speaking with a man who I met at the recent Mayor's Civic reception, quite a posh do actually, and we got chatting. I think actually we met in the toilets. His name is Andrew Allen Matthews, and he's a guy who's sick into painting and re with a real passion. And Andrew, how are you?
I'm great, thank you very much, Rod. Thanks for allowing me to interview you today. Yeah.
It was a bit of a posh do the other night, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. It was a right slap up meal, posh do. The main event was to raise funds for a charity for Jane Brophy's Tameside Mayor's charity as well. So yeah, it was a really good do.
And it almost showed the best of the area, didn't it, really, in terms of people and culture and arts and stuff?
Yeah, that's right. They had a diverse range of people from arts and music and fantastic dancing
Yes.
and as well. So it was a really good event and with lots of mayors that attended. I think it was over 75 mayors at the time as well and
Yeah, there was there
dignitaries.
was
So
there was a lot of mirrors there, I have to say. Really, really,
yeah.
really good. So we got chatting, and I found out about your passion and your love of painting. Where did this come from? Is this something that came into your life in later years, or has it always been there?
It was when I was about age 5 years old, and my mum and dad saw me interested in art, and they took me to Salford Museum and Art Gallery in Salford, and I saw a huge painting cut by John Charles Dolman of called Famine, and it was like of a huge skeleton figure with all wolves around it in a snow scene, and it kind of like imagine me 5 years old looking at that massive painting. I was like mesmerised by it, and also Ellis Lowry's artworks in the gallery, and I kind of took inspiration from that. So it led from there, really, and I've always been interested in that.
And where did your parents' interest come from, and how did they end up taking you there?
When my dad was a bus driver and my mum was a cleaner, and he knew that Salford Museum was a great gallery because you got like a Victorian gallery as well, and he decided to take us on a day trip there when I was about 5 years old, and from then it just sparked my passion in art really. From there on in, my dad bought me an oil pastel paint paper and also oil pastels and from players cards, from cigarette packets. I used to use my oil pastels to do falcons and tigers and all sorts of things when I was younger. So it sparked my passion. Yeah, yeah.
And you grew up in Moss Side. Was there many other people as passionate about art in Moss Side as you were at that time?
No, I kind of kept it quiet because he was a bit rough and tumbling in Moss Side. We had a proper childhood growing up in Moss Side, and we used to do like Mind Your Car Mister at the Man City main ground. I used to do Mind Your Car Mister, and it was kind of sparked me interest in football as well as Man City because on match days we used to do Mind the Cars, and in half time the Man City main road used to open the gates for the kids at half time so the kids can watch the game at halfway time. So you don't do that anymore, but it's
No.
kind of like them days are gone now. But I've done a whole Moss Side nostalgia collection dedicated to Moss Side, and I'm hoping to get them to show in the with Art Gallery as well, which is near Moss Side. That's one of
Wonderful.
my next
Well,
passions.
we're going to talk about your art. We're going to talk a little bit about football, and we're also going to hear a poem from you as well, and talk about the exhibitions that are coming up across the Greater Manchester area. So today, my guest is Andrew Allen Matthews. He's an artist. He's an artist with a Manchester theme and a Manchester background. A true, you could say, a true Manchester artist. We'll be back finding out more about how he got into this in a few minutes' time. So, Andrew, from that early, if you like, encouragement from your parents, and to be fair, for people with with your background, it was really quite interesting that they took such an interest in art, really, as working class people, really.
That's right, because like normally working class people, especially around Moss Side or Old Trafford, the parents would take him to a football game, but my dad saw me interested in that early, and he wanted to encourage me to do my art and have a passion, and that's where it was like an unknown thing, which is why I kept it pretty quiet really when I was a kid, because Moss Side is a bit of a rough and tumble place to grow up, but it was a thoroughly enjoyable time growing up in Moss Side in the back in the 70s and
I
80s.
can imagine.
Yeah,
There's proper community there, isn't there?
yeah, it was a proper community back then. No, hardly any cars on the streets. You could play Kirby, keep you uppy football, street football. I've done quite a few paintings on Moss Side with that, showing that. Um, all my paintings come with short stories and poems to them as well about cityscapes of Manchester and Salford and beyond. And kind of put some meat on the bones of the paintings and highlights the good, the bad, and the ugly, a bit like me, I suppose.
Now tell me, did you take that love of art all the way through your education, or did it dwindle and then come back to you?
No, I took it all the way through my education. I wasn't very good at maths or anything like that. We were subjects. I did try, but I couldn't do it. I think I've got an artist brain. But yeah, when I did O level art early, 2 years early, then I did A level art when I was in my final year at school.
Wow.
Passed that, and then went to Arden Sixth Form College. Then went I got a job as a design separation artist in the with TFS, which is Tool Textiles Film Services, and also ABC Batik, which does batik designs throughout Africa. So I got into that career for about 10 years, reproducing designs for Laura Ashley, Liberty Designs, Sanderson's, all the major high street brands in the UK. Had a mental health breakdown and went back to university and studied BA honours in textiles. And when I was at textiles, doing that degree, I used to think Ellis Lowry's art wasn't very good, but I went to an art lecture on Lowry, and so from the lecture, he's like it opened my eyes to that I was quite an accomplished artist, and I developed my style over many years in a Lowry-esque manner, but in my style.
All
Lowry,
right, so that's how you would define your style as a sort of modern take on a Laurie classic.
yeah, I take inspiration from L.S. Lowry's characters and his cityscapes and landscapes that he does, and put it in my style, but in more colourful aspect. Because Lowry only used five colours, like muted greys, reflecting the 18th century chimneys and cotton mills of the time. But I'm reflecting modern Manchester in colourful, vibrant colours around Manchester, but in a Lowry-esque manner, but in my style. And I guess if Lowry was my master, I'd be his boisterous apprentice, I say.
Just going back to that early part of your career, so you were doing was it doing work for the likes of Laura Ashley or copying what they were doing for other people? What were you
Yeah,
doing there?
so basically, TFS2 Textiles Film Services, they reproduced the designs ready to go into copper rollers or rotor screen printing in the Strines print works in up in the Peak District, and also Brunchwar in Hyde, which does the ABC Batiks for African Designs. They finally closed down, and everything went overseas to Ghana. Like a lot of old textile industries, is closed. So when I wanted to be a textile designer at university, when I went to university, my main aim was to be a textile designer. But when during the time I was there, from being hand painted artwork that I do, it all turned to computers,
Hmm.
um, and so there wasn't much need for many textile designers in the UK. So there wasn't many jobs. So I kind of like fell into other areas such as management and into call centres. I did call centre work for 22 years, which was a stressful
Mm.
area, but still continuing with my art. And I created my stress and anxiety collection, and part of the stress and anxiety collection was used in the Unite Union's training and development department to help people overcome stress at work. So
Mm.
I'm glad it was turn a negative into a positive, which is what I'm all about.
Well, that's so much about art can be about that, can't it? It's off for some people. It is an outlet that eases their day, if you like, eases the stress of their day job. It becomes their therapeutic outlet.
Yeah, that's in a way what I do. It's like art therapy for myself because I did suffer through mental health issues. Tried to commit suicide back in '96 due to extreme stress. Um, and I've overcome that now by using my art therapy medication and helping other charities and art therapy is the main thing really because I'm usually in my shed about 4 in the morning, painting away like a nutter, dancing in my shed, and it's just a therapeutic way of life, and it's just my passion in life. Yeah.
Do you know, I think there's so many people like that. And for me, radio is similar, actually. You know, it was something
All
that
right.
I used to sit in the 1980s and make up my own radio shows. And then went off and did a career. And then after having brain injury, um, I needed something and I couldn't work again. I needed something to give me an outlet. And I went back to that thing in the 1980s that I had no idea would ever be, possible for me. And
Right.
painting has been somewhat similar for you.
Yeah, it's definitely similar because obviously he's overcoming mental health challenges in life. We've got mild paranoid schizophrenia, controlled by tablets and medication and art therapy. And I use my art as a way of therapy for myself and helping others along the way. So if you check out my website, there's lots of art therapy. I've got website pages on there to help people overcoming stress and anxiety. I do lots of things for charities. With Ensure Safety Patrol for the homeless, help on safety patrols now and again, and I donate to them. There's so many charities that try and help. I'll just try and do the best I can, and that's through art. Yeah.
My guest today is Andrew Allen Matthews. He's an artist and somebody who's taken his passion for art and now turned it into therapy and something that's working for the good of himself and the good of other people. Recognized recently by the Mayor of Trafford. We'll be back with him in a couple of minutes' time. Andrew, we were talking, and I can see from your background about your style. It's a sort of modern take on a lorry. Did you develop that, or did it come naturally to you?
I kind of developed it over many years because I used to do photorealistic artwork. And when I was in the textile industry, like Liberty designs are very small and intricate designs. It'd probably take you about 4 weeks to do to reproduce a design, all hand painted, to get fit on copper rollers. So that's very tense and stressful way to do it. Not so much stressful, but very tense and
Mm.
not free flowing. So when I went to university, I've developed my own style over many years, from photorealistic portraits and paintings, and it's kind of developed a style of my own. I call it in a Lowry-esque manner, but in my style, I use what I call the croquis method, which is in the dictionary, which is a free flowing movement, which is stress free and enjoyable to do. So I'll do a sketch in like a draftsmanship manner because I used to do engineering drawing when I was at college, and then from that drawing, it's just like a guide. I'd apply paint in thick layers in a free acrylic paints in thick layers in a free flowing movement. Once that's dried, I'll do the highlights, then the inking of my characters. So the inking really brings the characters to life, and it's puts the meat on the bones of the paintings, and then they'll do a short story or poetry surrounding that, and it kind of brings a whole boodle together. And
Gotcha.
you'll probably hear that with one of my poems you can read out on the Manchester United on a stormy day.
We'll definitely come to that. Can I just though go back to so when you were serving your time, your almost your apprenticeship, is it that you were basically taking making the templates almost on the rollers of the designs that were coming from the likes of those wallpaper designers? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, so basically, it was mainly textiles.
Oh.
But what in the textile industry, in order to get each colour onto cloth, you had to separate each colour onto a separate copper roller or rotary screen print. And I used to do the artwork, and it was very intricate because if you imagine a hairline, a piece of hair, if you've got to draw it thinner than that in order for the dispersal of ink to go on cloth. So if you put a drop of ink on a cloth, it'll disperse. So you've got to calculate how much that dispersal will be on the cloth in order for it to work out correctly on a piece of textile design.
So,
Uh,
so you were engraving copper that would be on a roller that would create the template to put on the fabric.
What it was is it's like clear plastic film with paint on that in
Right.
like an opaque brown paint. Then it get photographed onto the like they turn into like a photograph onto a screen, and where the light sensitive film hits the exposed areas, that leaves that area exposed and it gets washed away. Then it gets engraved on the copper rollers,
Right.
and that's how it creates the copper rollers in the textile industry. Yeah.
And because you were building that up in layers, do you think that has attributed to the way to the painting process that you now adopt? Was that a good, if you like, apprenticeship to
Yeah,
building up your painting skill?
yeah, building up, definitely building up. I think with any artist, you've got to build them skills up over time, and I've definitely put 50 years worth of that into my art. And yeah, I use my inking of my characters, which is using a rotring pen, and which is a lot of textile designs used to use, or they still use as well. And that's where they've got that from. So I've developed that from my art, and I've also developed with me Lowry-esque themes as well. So yeah, it's all a whole caboodle over many years for developing my art. Yeah,
And so you've been soaking in these different styles and techniques as well, and bringing it
yeah,
to your art, really.
that's right. I've done all different types of art with watercolors, gouache, acrylics, and I'm working in acrylics now. I like that type of that paint because it's free flowing and express. It gives you a free flowing fluid movement to them, and that's where you get the stress free element from by applying the paint in my way.
Is acrylics so acrylics can be quite hard paint, can it not, compared to watercolors?
Yeah, it's a skill gained over time. You start off with watercolors and build up to gouaches, and then you go on to acrylics, and that's what I've done over the years. There's definitely a skill in all three areas of using them. I've done children's illustrated illustrations for books as well. Um, so I've created them for my daughter Emily, growing up, and she's now a teacher and a bookseller. So she got inspiration from that, hopefully from that. Um, but yeah, it's gained over time this to be an artist. It's like Lowry as well. He gained his skills over many years, and he developed his own style. He chose to paint in his style. And that's what I do. I choose to paint in my style.
I got you. Okay, and I guess it's something that you're constantly evolving. You never, do you ever feel like you're perfected it, or you're always picking things up?
I think with anything, it's like the great masters such as Michelangelo. He was always striving perfection. He kind of achieved it in a way in the Sistine Chapel, but he was still striving perfection. And I think every artist always strives for that. But I'm comfortable in what I do now because mine's not perfection. There's beauty in imperfection,
Yeah,
and with a slip of a brush or anything, it could create a happy outcome. A little mistake, you think, oh, I can turn that mistake into something brilliant,
that's
and
a nice
that's what I do in my art as well.
that's a nice way to think about it. I want to take a break and then talk about what you paint, because clearly you've been painting football grounds, City and United. There must be more to it than that. So today, my guest is the artist Andrew Allen Matthews. We're talking about his art. We're talking about his journey into art, and we'll be soon talking also about his exhibitions that are coming up in the local area. We'll take a break and we'll be with him in a couple of minutes' time. Now, Andrew, I always find that the industrial backdrop of Manchester provides a fantastic landscape and inspiration to paint or to photograph, for example, because especially in Manchester now, you've got the 21st century Manchester, if you like. You've still got the 19th and 20th century Manchester, and in the northern quarter, amongst other places, you can see the layers of the city. Now, you've chosen to paint football grounds, which are iconic in themselves. What else do you like to paint, and where do you like to paint?
So basically, I love to paint all Manchester and the Salford scenes mainly, and beyond as well. I've done London paintings, but mainly concentrate on Manchester and Salford cityscapes, depicting how we see Manchester today. So I'll choose go around Manchester or Salford, taking photos or go on Google and have a look on the maps and things, and do take images of myself, of cityscapes of pubs, cityscapes of Manchester skylines, and if you go on my website, which is andrewalanmatthews.co.uk, you'll be able to see lots of my artwork of cityscapes and my passion of Manchester and Salford. I've been featured in numerous newspaper articles regarding the preservation of the old buildings. I mean, there was the Hotspur Press, which is one of the most
Yes.
iconic
Yes.
buildings that mysteriously got burned down by fire.
Yes.
Like the Rialto in Salford, which was I used to live around the corner from there, and that was burned down by a mysterious fire as well. But the planners decided not to save the building, but did demolish it and replace it with a McDonald's drive-through in Salford, which is no heart and soul. So I want to preserve all Manchester's old historic buildings.
Mm,
I'm all for a modern Manchester, which is all modern. I like bringing the old and new together,
mm,
but as long as you don't destroy our heritage,
mm.
and that's the main thing. It's like the Sir Ralph Abercrombie pub, which I did a painting of, and they got a print in there. Um, the Manchester United player wanted to bulldoze it to replace it with his hotel, but a petition got signed, and luckily it saved it. Now he's on board with redeveloping the pub as well now to make it better and restoring our heritage.
It is one of the things about Manchester. It's a city and a region that's always been very thriving and forward thinking. But you have to be careful that you don't lose some of the things that made the city. And you pointed out the Hotspur Press, for example, which I think has it got now a preservation order on it?
The developers were trying to preserve the building, but it was coming up against lots of different barriers with preservationists, and we don't know what caused the mysterious fire.
Mm,
But I think they're looking at it now. They've got a whole. They are going to redevelop it, but I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the facade now. Now that it's been so much damage to it, I'm hoping they can utilise at least some of it. But yeah, there is a big consultation going on at the moment. It's on my website. I've done a video on the Hotspur Press, Manchester, about a story about it as well. So if you go to my website, that's on the front page.
and at least at the very least, paintings do preserve at least the memory of some of these places. And you were talking, you've got now an exhibition at the Britain's Protection Pub, which I think is one of the greatest pubs, if not in only Manchester, in the country. There is something unique about that. And there's a number of pubs like that in Manchester, but it really is like a traditional pub in the heart of what is a very modern city.
That's right, and I'm very lucky to be approached by Mark, the landlord of the Britain's Protection Pub, to have an exhibition in there. I'm the permanent resident artist in the pub now. So the exhibition's on all the way through now. You can go into the pub, enjoy a pint, and look at me some fantastic art. They've got like lots of poetry. They're all on sale as well. There is one painting called Piccadilly Tower, Manchester, which is up for sale for the Marmalade Trust to help people with loneliness.
Mm.
So that's part of the Britain's Protections Pub's charity. They're trying to help, and I've donated that painting to help with that cause and trying to raise some funds as well. So yeah, if anybody is interested, go in the pub, have a look at it, and hopefully put a bid in, or just play. It's on my website. Yeah.
And you must get a lot from the fact that you're doing something you love in painting, but it's creating a lot of good, not only just in people visualizing and seeing it, but also raising money for charities that you're passionate about.
Yeah, it's I do raise lots of money for different charities. Like I say, I'll try and help out as much as I can and spread that positivity for wherever I go, and that's what I'm all about. My logo on me BT shirt is, I don't know if you can see it, but that's a
Oh.
culmination of CBT therapy, which is cognitive behavioural therapy,
Hmm.
learned through decades of stress. The swallow at the top of the B represents my wife. The bees represents Manchester and myself, and the
Hmm.
Euroborn Dragon in the positive cycle, bringing in the positive cycle for me in Manchester. And I'm all about being positive. I take a leaf out of my dad's book because that's what he drummed into me all my life. And my motto is be positive and turn them negatives to positives whenever you can.
That's, you know what, that's a very good message. And sometimes you've had to go through something in order to realize that, but it's better that you've been through it and realize it than never realize it really, isn't it, Andrew?
Yeah, that's right. I think to understand a lot of mental health issues, you got to go through it yourself to truly understand what people go through. You can empathise with people, because before I had my breakdown in '96 and trying to commit suicide, I used to think, what's the matter? We just get out of bed, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm all right. But
Yeah.
until you realise it yourself, you don't understand truly what it is like to have a lot of mental health issues.
Mm,
Luckily, I've had the support of my loving wife Eileen and my family and friends and medication and help with doctors and a strong family background. But there's a lot of people that haven't got that,
mm,
and I'm just trying to help people along the way. I donate help Mark Sprosson's Project 23 mental health group. Done a painting for him and helped his charity. He helps people with mental health issues as well. I also help him with Inshore Safety Patrol for homeless people. There's a lot of veterans on the street who need help, army veterans, and they're just not getting the help they needed. So I donate to them as well. So I try my best, whatever I can do. I'm not a rich man. I only work part time throwing bargains in sale. But I do my art as my passion, and I'd love to take it bigger if I could.
Do you know, I think as much as you can look at the times we're in and be very negative about it, one of the positives I take is that we can speak about mental health and mental health issues much more openly now.
Yeah.
And actually, because I've been through my own challenges since I had a brain tumor, but we can speak a lot more openly and a lot more in plain language about it that people can understand.
That's right. There used to be a big stigma, especially back in '96. I think I couldn't talk to anybody, and you kind of bottle everything up. And when you bottle things up, you just explode.
You
And
do.
that's what happens with a lot of people. A lot of the time, it's a cry for help. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people think if you try and commit suicide, you're selfish and you're not thinking of your family and anything. But it's true in a way. You're not thinking about anything. You're not
Mm,
thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about those around you that you're going to hurt. You just your mind's lost and you're just looking for help and you can't see a way out of it. Um, so hopefully, like Brosnan's Project 23, he helps the community as well. So I'm trying to donate back as well in the community.
there is help out there, and there's plenty of it, but you need to know how to look for it. And I guess part of what you do is help people understand how to get that help. I'm going to take a break, and I want to come back and talk about your exhibitions because you've got three on coming up or on at the moment. One of them's in Goose Green, another one's in Stanley Square and the Britain's Protection Pub. My guest today is the artist Andrew Allen Matthews. Can I just ask you, when people refer to you as an artist, that must make you feel good.
Yeah, it makes me feel very proud
Aye.
because I've achieved my life's ambition to become an artist. I may not be a full-time artist yet because I'm working part-time and that pays the bills. But yeah, I'm slowly getting there, I think.
You're an artist. That's what you are. I'm speaking to
Thank
the
you.
artist Andrew Allen Matthews. We'll be back. We're going to talk about his exhibitions coming up next. Now, Andrew, like a lot of modern artists, you look at art in its roundest form. So you do a bit of poetry. I'm going to hear a poem now from you about Manchester United, but I assume that you've had to understand the art of promoting as well and engaging with people to share and to understand the network of artists and also where you can do exhibitions.
Yeah, it's difficult, especially when there's literally millions of artists,
Mhm.
that are excellent, that are absolutely excellent, and they've all got their own valid points across. But too, it's difficult trying to do the promotions because I'm just a one man band doing it on
Mhm.
myself and not having any help from anybody else. But you find that out with a lot of people, you don't get the help. But I've been lucky enough to been approached by Salford Museum and Art Gallery as a solo back in 24, 25, and I had a solo inaugural. I was a solo inaugural artist for the exhibition for 6 months. I was very honoured to be in that prestigious art gallery. Where my passion from art came from when I was 5 years old, so it came full circle. Where I had a cityscape exhibition in Manchester and the Salford by Night collection, and I was really made up with that. And from there on in, it's kind of like took off um, from where I am now. So yeah.
Yeah, and these small, not small, these milestones are they build up, don't you? Suddenly you can see yourself going from doing you build confidence from doing something like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, one of the confidence builders was when it was before the exhibition was when I was doing my Moss Side Nostalgia collection, and I was on an art gallery website, and a man from down south called John came all the way from down south on a Sunday, travelled all the way and bought me whole Moss Side Nostalgia collection, and he 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 bought the whole collection, and there was that. It kind of inspired me really, and he inspired me. So I can thank you, John,
Mm.
for that if you are listening. Um, and yeah, he sent he put a word. He said his first word was said, "Greetings, Maestro," and I thought that was brilliant. That so I'm no maestro, but I don't know.
Do you know the thing I love about these days is that people can get original art in their houses rather than going to an IKEA or somewhere else where they get a reproduction. There are people out there that will be able to do you a painting which is completely unique, which is reasonably affordable, and you can have an original in your house, and that's again a very precious thing, really, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, especially with the age of digital AI, you can create almost anything with AI nowadays, artificial intelligence, and to have an original or a limited edition signed print by an artist is, I think, something special because somebody's actually created it out of their head and
Yeah,
using their hands, and it's an art in itself. To have an original piece of work or a limited edition print
yeah.
and to have that on your wall is special. I think
Mm.
from any artist to have that connection with somebody who's painted it.
And it's a talking point, isn't it?
Oh
It
yeah,
then you also, I think when you buy an original, you create a link to the artist, and that again is another talking point.
that's right. And a lot of my arts, the lots of because I do my artwork on people, places, and social issues, and a lot across all my paintings and short stories and poems. They do have that in them. Um, not maybe like I'm not like a John Cooper Clarke. He's just fantastic, but
Yes.
mine's in a more positive way, really. So, but I love John Cooper Clarke. He's one of my idols, along with Ellis Lowry. He's just amazing. He's from Salford as well. So
He is, and
yeah,
that's the lovely thing about Manchester. We have a rich tapestry of artists right across the times, if you like,
yeah.
and it just goes to show that art isn't just for the socialites, the rich or the famous.
I used to think before I went into art galleries exhibiting, I was like, oh my God, I can't go in there. I'm
Yeah,
just a common man, and I feel out of place. But it's taken me a long time to actually approach galleries and things, or they've approached me actually, like Sofa Museum and Art Gallery, and it's not as hoity-toity as you think. Because
no,
I used to think being in the art gallery was all hoity-toity, but it's not
yes,
really. So,
yes.
right, it's that illusion that you get.
That's again what I like about these times is that those barriers, that hoity-toityness,
Yeah,
has broken away. Art is there, and culture is there for everybody. And if you go back to the days of the factories, actually people used to enjoy where they could, poetry. The poetry came from the streets of people, didn't they? They
Yes,
made
that's
their
right.
own poems up. They made their own entertainment. That's where it came from.
That's right. Especially all around the pubs of Manchester, used to all live singing in pubs, and in the old pubs, it used to be all yeah. He's always been from the street. It's like football, isn't it? It's always been from the street, but now it's like millionaires playing now.
Oh, I know. Well, talking about football, you are a very modern artist because you combine the word and the vision, and you've got a poem about not your favorite football club, but your maybe your arch enemy, the Reds
That's
of
right.
Manchester.
Yeah, I'm a Man City fan through and through, but I do paintings of all around of other football grounds. And this one's of Manchester United. But I don't mind doing paintings of both sides of Manchester, trying to unite Manchester, a united, a city united. That's what we want. But if you allow me, I can read out a painting, a poem of Manchester United by day on a stormy day. And if you're watching the video, it's the painting in the background that's donated to both charities that I've done for Trafford Mayor. So here we go. Manchester United by day on a stormy day. Wembley in the north on the way. As fans walk and talk on match day, they all say, storm's here today. Wembley in the north, whipping up a storm on match day. Red Devils hunker down, United ground, sound as a pound. Yeah, they're going through bad times, sad mid-table. Are they able to turn the sky red? Enough said. As dark clouds roll across stormy sky, a guy walks on by. Red weather warning today. Been told to stay away. Red Devils say, no way. As the ball's whopping round the Old Trafford ground, sound as a pound. Wembley in the north is on the lips. Red slips and slides, glides through rainy and windy weather. Mancunian belter. So yeah, Manchester United by day on a stormy day. Wembley in the north on the way. As fans walk and talk on match day, they all say, storm's here today. Wembley in the north, come forth.
That's the
That's all about
painter.
the new stadium being built.
That's the
Maybe being
painter
built.
and the poet Andrew Allen Matthews. Will be back with him and talking about his exhibitions after this break. Andre, as you were doing that poem, I was thinking about the terraces and thinking about the songs and thinking about the chants. And they came from the streets, didn't they? They came from the pubs. And in many ways, they are now, the older ones are the poetry of football.
Yeah, that's right. And in a way, I can hope to think that my short stories and poems are chants from the ground of Man City, Man United, Stockport County, Oldham, other grounds I've painted as well. So I'd like to think it'd be represented in that in a modern way. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you've got some visual art on display. So you've got three exhibitions. Are they currently going? There's one at Goose Green here in Altrincham at the Goose Green Art Gallery. So what's on show there?
So you've got the Bricklayers Arms. You've got the marketplace that's on there as well. I've got a Lowry Centre painting in there, and another one. I can't quite remember what's that one is. But there's four paintings on show there at the moment. It's only a small exhibition, but they're on permanent show and they are for sale in the prestigious gallery there.
And again, the Bricklayers Arms, an iconic pub right in the heart of Altrincham. Altrincham is a town that's forever changing, and the market, those are very iconic buildings in the town.
Yeah, they're very iconic buildings. I've done a whole collection of Altrincham on my website, so with all poems, short stories to them. And I hope if you ever get a chance to go on my website, andrewallenmatthews.co.uk, you can check it out.
And you've also got some paintings on display at Stanley Square in Sale.
Yeah, Stanley Square in Sale, next to Pure Gym. There's like a corridor gallery between Springfield Road. Sale is becoming a right cosmopolitan place now.
It is.
And I've got 20 limited edition prints hanging up on the wall with all QR codes to all the short stories in my website. If you're ever in Sale, check it out. I think you might enjoy them.
All right. Okay. Very good. And then the final one is in the Britain's Protection Pub, a wonderful pub as we spoke before. You've got some art on display in there.
Yeah, I've got a permanent exhibition in the Britain's Protection Pub in Manchester, one of the most iconic pubs in Manchester, my
Cool.
favourite pub. Get down to the pub. They're all for sale with limited edition prints and stories, and hopefully you'll enjoy your experience in the Britain's Protection Pub. It's such an iconic pub. They got like murals of the Peterloo massacre, where back in the day they ended up in there getting help from the pub as well. So yeah, it's a historic pub. Do go to it. It's one of my favourite pubs.
It is, and every city I think has that type of pub. That sort of pub with tiles on, bare floors, and there's an atmosphere about it, isn't there? You can almost feel that the poets and the authors and the painters of time were going in there and sharing stories, and you can almost feel that history, can't you?
Yeah, it's actually oozes history, that pub. With
Yeah,
the whole building itself is just steeped in it. It's fantastic.
it is fantastic. So if people want to follow you, where do they go?
You can go on either Instagram, Andy Allen Matt, or my website, which is andrewallenmatthews.co.uk. I'd like to also mention about the charities that I've donated to this one. The first one is with Trafford Mayor, the Trafford Mayor's charity. She's raising funds for the ME Association, Trafford Carers, and Trafford Parks and Green Spaces. I've donated the Manchester United limited edition print there, and you can actually go on to auctionofpromises.com, the Mayor of Trafford charity, and you can place a bid for that limited edition print. It'll go to a worthy cause.
Hmm.
I've just been invited by the Tameside Mayor Charities from the Bowl. Her charities are Willowwood Hospice, which provides specialist palliative and end-of-life care. The Women's Trust Fund Duckingfield branch for Christie Charity, for the Christie Hospital, and Hyde's Bangladesh Welfare Association. You can find her fundraising on peoplesfundraising.com, the Mayor of Tameside, and hopefully try and get some money raised for them two charities as well. Yeah, that hopefully will raise some good money for the causes.
Well, that is fantastic. I have to say, when art becomes therapy and becomes a way of raising money for charity and ultimately something that people enjoy looking at, I think you've almost got job done there, Andrew. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. I'm so glad we bumped into each other the other night.
It
And
might have been the not the best places to meet up, but there you go.
sometimes they're the best places, I'll be honest with you.
Sometimes, yeah.
But it's always good to have a chat. Andrew, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Rod. It's a pleasure.